Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. Let's go to this military map straight away because Ukrainian army has awesome success for this day and I want to zoom in to Lyman city. Here is the Lyman. It's still under control by the Russian forces because they were able to build huge defense lines over there, so they were building it over here to avoid our counterattack from the south, but they couldn't build the proper defense line on the north side. And that is why Ukrainian army is counterattacking from this part, and of course we're gonna break to Lyman city from this direction, pushing from the south as well. And that is why Russian army will be encircled in this area. Still they have the secondary roads, as I say to you, so they may use those to avoid encirclement and get away from Lyman, but so far I think they want to withstand our counterattack. But I think all of the attempts from Russian side will be unsuccessful and we're gonna take the city, I hope, this week. Just want to go a little bit to the north. By the way, my friends, make sure that you are watching me from my original Dennis Davydov channel, because there are lots of scammers who are taking my videos. So here's the timeline, the 26th of September. Today, it was yesterday, and just for one day, just look how many territories we gain. So we're gonna push not only to Lyman, but I think we're also gonna go to Svatove. Yeah, it's far away. Let me measure the distance from the fighting area. It's 30 kilometers, but still our army proved that 30 kilometers is nothing if we're gonna go on open counterattack. Today I was told about the new Ukrainian tactics of counterattack that we used in Kharkiv area. Basically we used not tanks mainly, but the light armored vehicles such as Humvees or Toyotas with a turret gun on the top. Those vehicles are very fast and maneuverable. Because of that, Russia cannot use the artillery system to target those vehicles, and our vehicles just move around the front lines, all across the front lines. They may encircle the small groups of the armored forces and then go further way behind the front line, causing Russian forces to panic and withdraw from the front line. Awesome tactics of Ukrainian army, and I would compare it with the Russian Civil War back in 1917. Back then, the Ukrainian revolution leader Nestor Makhno designed a special type of weapon that helped to win many battles. Basically, they put kind of big gun Maxim behind the chariot, and it was so maneuverable, the simple solution that brought many wins. From Lyman, let's go to the north. As you probably know, we got Kupiansk under our control. Now it's painted in green, as you see, because it was taken a long time ago already, and now it's Kupiansk Wuzlavi that was reported that we took today. However, Deep State Telegram chat bot said that they are in lack of the proofs that Kupiansk Wuzlavi was taken by Ukrainian forces because they more oriented on photography. If soldiers take pictures on the front lines, post them, videos and stuff like that, that may prove that we took some sort of the city, village or part of the land. So they're not sure if our army took it, but we got that information from other publics. And I need to filter quite a lot of information, my friends, because we got some of the news, some misspelling, misunderstanding. So yesterday all of the media say that Ukraine got NASAMS, and I built entire thumbnail of my latest video around the NASAMS, and it was reported that Ukraine got those systems, but what Zelensky said that it was agreed with the United States the delivery of those systems, not that they are in Ukraine. So misunderstanding brought us to misinformation, and I said about it in my latest video. So now I want to say the truth. We don't have the NASAMS systems in Ukraine, but I hope that they will be delivered very soon. Russia continues to push near to Bakhmut, and we don't have the front line change. Oh yeah, we have a change because the fighting is ongoing, I would say, in the city itself. You see this gray area, it means that Russia moved to this city. It's very difficult for us because we may lose at least this part of the city. And as you probably know, we destroyed this bridge. I was telling about it. And not to let Russians go across it, because Russia concentrated lots of their forces in this region. In particular, it's their main goal to take Bakhmut city and all of the Donetsk Oblast over here, Kramatorsk, with all of those villages and towns. However, with the resources they have, they cannot do it, and with mobilization announced, they also cannot do it, because those guys who are coming to the front lines, they are unable to fight as Russian regular army, and Russian regular army just demoralized. And those newcomers, they don't have any kind of motivation. So I hope that we keep Bakhmut under Ukrainian control. And here we have Bilohorivka that we took, and there is no change since that time, and Russia has the high ground in Lysychansk. That is why they may use the artillery systems and other systems, mortars, more effectively compared to our army, which is on the downside of this valley. I would say the Severodonetsk is also on the downside, so for us it's very critical to take Lysychansk and fire towards the Russian army, which stays in Severodonetsk. Let's go to the south to Kherson area. It was the light correction from the deep state. They say that we didn't take the Ternovy Pody, so it's the small village over here. So it was like yesterday and it is today. It's just a map correction. It doesn't mean that Russians put us to the north. No, it's just a confirmation of the front line. Here we have some of the advantage, and it's also been the confirmation that we didn't take Shesliva village over here. Before, it was some fighting for that, as stated, but now it's not. We push little by little this territory, causing Russian forces to panic a little, but they concentrated 25,000 soldiers. They don't have the way out, they don't have where to run, and that's why they keep fighting for their lives in this area. And now let's go to some of the news and events. There are some protests against the mobilization in Russian Federation, to be more precise in Dagestan, which is the part of Russia, and it's the capital city of Makhachkala of this area, Dagestan. And Russia today got some of the activists and send them to local police office. I guess there are just few people came and there is no any fighting, nothing, and people demand to free their friends from police. I would say that Dagestan is the hot spot for the Russian protests against mobilization. You'll not find those kind of protests in Moscow or St. Petersburg. Those are the Russian barracks, and this girl is the supply chief of the local military branch, and she say that they don't have any medical kits for the army. They don't have even blankets. Yeah, you see those blankets, they're just for those barracks that are in Russia, and those guys will be sent. They're now in a training and will be sent to Ukraine. So they have to buy their own sleeping bags, medical kits, all of the necessary stuff basically you need to bring with you. So what you have is very old uniform, as you can see on that picture. You will have some sort of the helmet from the Second World War, maybe life vest. Yeah, it's better to say armor vest. I'm not good in English, my friends. So here we go. Those soldiers are shocked about that information. And this Russian guy today eliminated the commander of the local military branch somewhere in Russia. There's the video of it in internet. You may just Google. I will not show it to you on YouTube. So if that military commander survives, this guy may have like 8 years in prison. If he dies, this guy may have around 15 years, but he can apply for early release after 7 years. However, if he wouldn't go to Russian army after he received the notice to go there, he might have like 10 years in prison. I think he just valued the prison terms that he might get, and he did what he did. So it's afternoon in Dagestan. You see women also protesting against the mobilization. This is Georgian border. We were told that Georgia would halt Russians to enter their country, and they allowed, but without the cars. So Russians just live in their cars near to the border and walking all across to Georgia. They are so afraid to join the Russian army. Obviously, because of that, they may lose their lives. That is why they're running for their lives. The great risk for Ukraine are those Iranian-made drones. They're so effective, our radars cannot spot them because they're so light, they are made out of composite materials, and they can bring lots of devastation. It is hard for us even to spot them on the ground because they may be put on a track as here in the picture, and there are 5 of them. Our army obviously uses the anti-aircraft systems. However, as I say to you, it's very hard to spot those airplanes, and they have specific noise, as you may hear from the low cc scooter or moped. That's why we call those mopeds. The commander of the Ukrainian army, Valery Zaluzhny, on the front page of Time magazine, I think the world was inspired by the move of the Ukrainian army in Kharkiv region and surprised as well. And today it was the shooting in a Russian school. Many people lost their lives there. Who was the shooter so far? I don't have the precise information about it. In media, I found the information that the person who attacked the school had some sort of the psychological problems. So I would say that this mass shooting is not the problem just in the United States of America. It's very hard to find guns in Russia. But still, that guy found a couple of the pistols, and pistols are forbidden to have for civilians. And he used them in the school. Interesting comparison. So this is the German army attack back in 1942. I hope you can see this picture, or at least part of it, just near to my picture somewhere. And on the right hand side, obviously you can see the Ukrainian counterattack back in 2022. The situation is very similar, and back in 1942, German army was able to capture hundreds of thousands soldiers of Soviet Union. Here, mostly Russians run away. That's the major difference between those operations. United States carrier and South Korea ships launch drills amid North threat. North Korea. And I think it's great. We have lots of dictators in this world so far, my friends. You see, the democratic countries like South Korea, they're much more developed compared to North Korea, where we have some kind of socialism. All of the countries where dictators try to build the communism, all of those countries are in poverty. Probably just Vietnam is developing better, and China obviously, but I think those are just communist on the paper. I think nowadays China's economy is more capitalistic than United States, but they use communism as a religion, and that's how they can restrict the human rights in their country. China built this fence. This river divides Russia and China, so this is the border. You can see those flags are on China's side, and Chinese afraid of Russians to swim across this river to China side. Awesome, we already got 50 of those armored vehicles delivered to Ukraine by Lithuania. Those are American-made M113. We need lots of those small armored vehicles that play a great role in the small counterattacks that will go to the big offensive operation, as you saw in Kharkiv. This is a statistics of the Russian high-rank officers' losses in this war. As you can see, total number, 1,210, and I can see that they lost many generals, colonels, majors. Oh, it's just crazy. Awesome news coming from United States. Will have $12 billion help to Ukraine. Thank you, my friends from United States of America and from all around the world for paying your taxes. Those taxes are used not only to support your life in your country, but also to support Ukraine, because now we fight for the common values. I hope you understand that, and thank you again for paying your taxes. It's been reported that our army hit the command center of the Russian drones near to Kherson, as you can see. I cannot confirm that information because I'm unaware about that. I would believe to our army, and also they say that there were some of the Iranian instructors in that area. And great news from United States intelligence, they don't see the action from the Russian army that they gonna use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. I hope it will stay like that. I'm gonna keep you updated on situation here in Ukraine. Now press the like button because it helps my channel a lot. Also, if you want to support my channel financially, there are some of the links in the video description below. You may support me on PayPal, Patreon, or Donatel, whichever you like. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.